Okay, Leo, you're rewriting your own rulebook. Let's talk about it. Hey Leo, welcome back to Distilled Tarot. My name's Shannon and I'll be guiding you through today's reading. This is going to be a timeless reading for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and or wherever Leo falls in your chart. Let's see what's going on with Leo. Spirit really wants to talk today. We've got the Hermit in reverse. You're coming out of hiding. You've had some sort of epiphany, a realization. You've gotten what you needed to get out of that time of solitude. And now it's time to emerge from your cave and rejoin society. To get that, I'm getting like energy reflected back to you. You need to connect with other people. Fool at the bottom of the deck here tells me that you really want to start something new. Maybe a passion project. What's the challenge for Leo? What is Leo overcoming here as they rejoin society? Hierophant energy, doing things the way that they should be done. There's this energy of it's always been done that way, or this is the way it's always been done. If you are a staunch rule follower, then your energy is going to be figuring out how to embrace whatever it is and connect whatever it is that you've just learned, to integrate that into your rule following ways. So that tells me that there's probably something rebellious about the time that you've had away from people, something that kind of cuts against the grain of your inner circle or society at large, that now the challenge is going to be integrating that into how you go about your day-to-day life. If you have been more rebellious, then it's a much simpler explanation. It would be becoming more responsible, doing things the way other people say it should be done, when stereotypically in the past that might have not really sat well with you. It didn't feel natural to you. What is Leo focused on? We have Knight of Swords paired with the Five of Wands. You feel like you have the truth on your side and you want to act on what you know. This is probably what you've learned in that time of self-reflection or seclusion. So you're wielding that sword of truth, metaphorically speaking, and you're wanting to see the effects that it's going to have in your life when you start acting on that knowledge, that awareness. You're either anticipating a battle or you're experiencing one. You could have had like a major paradigm shift, and now you don't really see eye to eye with your friends or your family anymore. So you're having to kind of engage with people in a new way. Another possibility is that you feel like you're going to meet a lot of competition on your new path as you start to take action based on what you know, some sort of epiphany that you've had. You could see other people as obstacles. If they get there first, then they'll take whatever you're going for and you won't be able to get it. That sort of concern. I feel like you have this confidence about you, like no one can stand in your way. They might try, but you feel like you're good. Like nothing can slow you down even. That's how I'm getting it. In the recent past, we have this Knight of Cups energy. I'm trying to feel into the energy to see if this feels more like you or someone else, because the Knight of Swords definitely feels like you. And the shift, because you've experienced a shift that I'm seeing here indicated in the cards, could be you going more from a heart-based approach to a head-based approach. So if that fits your experience, then that's definitely what this is indicating. If that doesn't sound like you, then this is more likely another person who would have influenced you in some way. Someone who took action and let their heart lead the way, based on how they feel, how they want other people to feel about them. It's very emotions-based mindset in terms of what's is that spurning? Is that the right word? What's spurning them to take action? Spurring. I'm not sure what the right word is there. Okay, let's see what crowns you're reading. What is the reason this is all happening? Devil energy. Interesting, Leo. It's to bring out a side of you that you don't let come out to play. Here we have the challenge being this Hierophant rule follower energy, but what Spirit wants to come out of you is your unbridled, irresponsible wild side. The indulgent, maybe selfish, a side of you that you try to keep under the surface. You try to not let this part of you grow or flourish or connect with other people. I'm going to pull a clarifier there because the devil can also mean quite challenging aspects of life, like addiction, like letting things lead that will get you into real trouble. So I want to see how Spirit means for this energy to show up in your life. Spirit, tell me a little bit more about this devil energy. We have Chariot in reverse. Something that's out of alignment that needs to be integrated and brought into alignment. Two of Swords at the bottom of the deck, something that you don't want to look at. You don't usually let it influence your choices, the way you make decisions. So yeah, I feel like this is that stereotypical kind of befriending your demons, your inner demons sort of energy, and that may be what you've been introspective about when you had that hermit time. Taking a look at yourself, those shadow parts of yourself. With the Chariot in reverse paired with that devil energy, that tells me that there's something holding you back because it's not being integrated into and acknowledged and embraced in you and how you live your life. I'll give like a silly example because it's what comes to mind. You may feel like a person should use their dishes to eat off of, because if you are lazy enough to buy paper plates, then that's an indication of like a lower vibration. It's someone you don't want to be. It's not your quote-unquote Hierophant energy of how things should be done, right? But maybe you end up eating fast food more often, or letting the dirty dishes pile up, or finding excuses to get out of doing the dishes and having someone else in the household do the dishes. And what I'm getting at here is this example of a shadow part of you would be the dislike of doing dishes and the avoidance of using dishes so that you don't have to wash them. And that gets in the way of you eating more healthy food, or maybe you're getting headaches because you are eating less healthy, or you're having higher sodium in your diet, or whatever complicating factors there are in this example, right? So one way to integrate the shadow here would be to say, I'm going to allow myself to buy the paper plates. I'm going to keep the house stocked with paper plates so that I will cook for myself more often. And that is embracing my shadow side, that laziness that doesn't want to do dishes. I'm looking at it, I'm acknowledging it for what it is, and instead of denying it and saying, well, lazy devil side of me, inner demon, I'm not going to acknowledge you exist because you shouldn't be lazy, you shouldn't be that way. I don't accept this part of myself. But if you see that it is actually influencing your life in a way that's problematic in other areas, like having more fast food in your diet, gaining weight, or letting down the other people in your household because you're not washing the dishes as much as they are, and it's causing fights with other people. So there's that, like, seeing the benefit that can occur if you embrace and acknowledge and include that shadow part of yourself by saying, okay, you know what? I'm going to decide for myself that it's okay if I have paper plates in the house, because that unlocks a whole host of other positive behaviors in my life, and it affects my life in positive ways. Just seeing and acknowledging that and allowing yourself to understand the rules in a different sense and accept that about yourself. Okay, so take that example and kind of extrapolate to whatever is going on in your life to understand the meaning of that devil chariot reversed card placement for you. There's something that you're meant to accept and acknowledge and integrate into your life in a similar way. In the near future, we have the Wheel of Fortune reversed. So this tells me you're going to get another chance at a similar thing that you've experienced at least once in the past. I do get a positive what's the word that I'm looking for? When you experience this, your reaction is positive. You're going to be happy, potentially excited that there's, oh, I get to do it again. There's a do-over in some sense. So armed with this new wisdom, this new take on the rules, and how you're going to integrate this inner demon, so to speak, this shadow part of yourself, you get to approach a similar situation, try it again in a new way, from a new mindset. See how the results turn out. What's going to affect the situation that Leo does not see coming? What's the surprise here? Justice. Things falling into place. everything works itself out. It feels better, it feels more balanced, it feels fair. I think that is going to be a genuine surprise for you, because this Hierophant Justice combination, it goes hand in hand, right? If you do things the way they should be done, things turn out fair and just and right. And I think you have felt like your old way of doing things was the right way to do them, was the way things should be done. Your sense of like honor, it's more nuanced than that. More nuanced than I can pick up on for a large group of people, but the surprise comes that you previously thought that if you behave in this new way that you're going to behave, that things wouldn't turn out well. They wouldn't go smoothly. But you're going to see the proof in the results. That they will. Things will turn out well. Things will go smoothly. It will feel fair to you and to other people involved. I'm also getting this a little bit of recognition for it too. I think you're gonna get some kudos from the other people involved. So your hope and fear here is the Magician in reverse. This has to do with like meddling energy, manipulation, trickery, being underhanded. I really think that we're still talking about the same energy though. I think this is how you view the vibe of not doing things the way they should be done. I think you have very strict rules for how things should be done in your mind, and it's important to you and your character that you uphold those values. So this integrating your shadow, accepting and embracing your inner demons, doing something a little bit differently, letting yourself have the paper plates in the house without feeling like a failure and beating yourself up for it, but accepting it as a positive thing and as a way to follow rules, feels like this underhanded trickery, shady business to you. You're afraid that it's going to feel that way. You're afraid that it's going to be that way. You're afraid that people are going to think of you and see you and judge you that way. I'm pretty confident that you're going to be proven wrong with that expectation. That fear, I should say. How does this all turn out? Page of Pentacles, learning a new lesson, being hands-on with a new skill. So when you start to act this out with this new piece of information that you want to start acting out, you're going to expect it to be challenging, people to stand in your way or cause concerns for you. But you're going to learn how to wield that new sword of knowledge in a healthy, productive way that is integrated into your true character of being a good person, loyal, honest, rule follower. And you're going to, you're going to be an apprentice of that energy. You're going to take it on and start really playing with the energy hands-on. Acting it out in a more like making it a game in your life. Like, okay, where can I implement this idea in other ways? Your advice is the Seven of Wands. Stand your ground. Don't give up ground. I'm getting like a flooding metaphor here. Instead of like people coming to try and do battle with you and metaphorically like take the territory away, which is like how the imagery that's typically depicted on this card goes. I'm getting more so like this imagery of being on a hilltop. That's your ground, that's your territory that you're meant to energetically claim and defend in this, and you know, this is all, they're all metaphors, obviously. But there's like these rising floodwaters, and water represents like emotional energy. And the flood is threatening your territory, but you're meant to stand your ground. For some of you, that might be literal. Not all of you, definitely not all of you. For those of you, if it is literal, if you have like unusual storm coming through, I'm getting like whatever efforts you want to take, if it's sandbags or some sort of like new like barrier technology you want to set up to try and protect your territory, that will work to make sure that you implement it well. But for most of you who this is not literal, I'm getting that it's like the difficulty that you're facing here in owning this new way of being, this new way of acting, doesn't come from outside forces trying to tear you down. It comes from your own feelings. So watch out for this groundswell of emotion to come and try and get you back in your old ways. It's like an emotional discomfort coming from within that threatens to knock you off of this high ground. So the advice, if you're feeling that way, would be that it's a mirage. You can't lose the ground to your own emotions. Stay where you are and like become accustomed to it. Let it become natural to you over time. It's okay if it doesn't feel natural right away. You're new at it. You're the Page of Pentacles. You're studying it. You're learning it. You're practicing it. That Seven of Wands is definitely like, don't give up. All right. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Three of Wands in reverse. This isn't the time to be starting a grand new adventure, to go off into foreign shores. This is the time to focus on familiar territory in a new way. So I'm going to pull you an oracle card if you would like to meditate on the energies. Sorry, I forgot to put this one at the bottom of the deck last time. I used this for another recent reading. Your card is humility. Learning something new when you felt very justified and correct in your old way of doing something can destabilize you, can make you question things, your own sense of right and wrong. And I know that's at the core of Leo's heart. Excuse me. So humility will get you through this in a way of recognizing that everyone grows and evolves and reshapes their inner world to their own benefit and to the benefit of those around them. And it's part of the human experience. You're not alone here. You're not unique in this experience. I mean, of course, this experience is unique to you, but I'm saying the themes that you're experiencing, you're not alone. Humankind goes through this too. And you can make it through just like everyone else has made it through. I believe in you. Leo, thanks for joining me for this reading. I hope it helped. Have a great week, and I will see you back next time.